Hello everybody, my name is Praveen Moharjan and my student ID is TIA8206. I'm here to give a group video presentation of accounting principle and practices, and the title of our group video presentation is Fortescue Metals Group. Our subject code is HA1020 and our assignment group is 028. First of all, we like to give a small introduction about Fortescue Metals Group. Fortescue Metals Group Limited (FMG) is an iron metal organization arranged mostly in Australia. It was established in the year 2003. The organization goes under the business of metals and mining. Its home office is put in Perth, Western Australia. Fortescue Metals Group Limited bargains in iron metal, steel, gold, copper and lithium. It is one of the biggest iron mineral makers, for the most part fourth biggest maker of iron minerals in the worldwide. Elizabeth Gaines fills in as a CEO in the Fortescue Metals Group Limited, and Andrew Forrest, being a chairman, joins to turn into the significant investor in the organization. The Fortescue Metals Group Limited has numerous auxiliaries work under it. The mine organization holds 87,000 km to vision. The area where it is arranged is Christmas Creek Mine, Pilbara District, West Australia. The organization is recorded organization on the ASX Australian Stock Trade with all notable organization. Fortescue Metals website is this, as you can see on the slides. Now core activities. The Iron Bridge magnetite assets has kept on developing with an expansion in the magnetite mineral resource from the disclosure of the new Eastern Limb metal body, neighboring the North Star metal body. The Iron Bridge magnetite venture is a unincorporated joint venture between FMG Iron Bridge Limited is 69%, which is 88% Fortescue and 12% Bass Steel, and Formosa Steel IB Private Limited 31%, which is 100% claimed substance of Formosa Plastic Group. The metal minerals are distinctively hematite and geotite with variable degrees of adjustment between these minerals. Principal gangue minerals are kaolinite, quartz, and gibbsite, with minor gangue including carbonates, either calcite or dolomite. Now the competitive advantage. In 2020, competitive Vitality Diving the Future 20 Unlocking Australia's Vitality Advantage Sporting is to give general data about Fortescue Metals Group Limited. It, as an outcome of any data in this introduction or any blunder or exclusion along these lines. Maximizing the Pilbara's upper hand. New China 5 of this introduction is to give general data about Fortescue Metals Group Limited. Fortescue. In data in this introduction or some other data made accessible to an individual nor any commitment to outfit the individual with any additional data. Now the history. Western Australia local and specialist Andrew Forrest established Fortescue Metals Group in 2003 to discover the Pilbara district's lobe and put up it for sale to the public. The organization found the biggest bedrock iron mineral store in Australia, that is 2.4 billion tons. The organization lined up long-haul deals of 45 million tons yearly, with extra understanding for tonnage past this target. The organization requires a 260 km overwhelming rail line to carry the metal to the port from two mines locales at Christmas Creek and Cloudbreak, and another multi-billet office at Port Hedland for the monster vessels that would take the metal to China. The expense to build up the Eagle Framework Plan vested, that is 1.92 billion Australian dollar. Forrest requires financing to transfer his fantasy into the real world. Thank you. My part is over here, and the rest my classmate will be describing. Thank you.
Good morning and good afternoon. My name is Smith Mullah, student ID GIA8007, and in this today's presentation, I'm going to discuss about Fortescue Metal Group solvency ratio. Solvency ratio of any company is comprised of three ratios: debt to equity ratio, debt to assets ratio, and proprietary ratio. Debt to equity ratio is calculated by dividing total debt by total equity. Debt to assets ratio is calculated by dividing total debt divided by total assets, and proprietary ratio is calculated by dividing shareholder fund, which is also known as equity, by total assets. In next slide, we are going to look at the solvency ratio of Fortescue Metal Group. In this slide, we are going to look at the solvency ratio of 2019 and 2018 of Fortescue Metal Group. All the amount we see here are in millions of dollar. Starting with debt to equity ratio, the 2018 debt to equity ratio of Fortescue Metal Group is 0.4:1, whereas 2019 debt to equity ratio is 0.37:1. We can see there is a decrease in debt to equity ratio. Further, 2018 debt to assets ratio of Fortescue Metal Group is 0.22:1, whereas the 2019 debt to assets ratio of Fortescue Metal Group is 0.2:1. And 2018 proprietary ratio of Fortescue Metal Group is 0.54:1, whereas 2019 proprietary ratio of Fortescue Metal Group is 0.53:1. There is a decrease in proprietary ratio as well. Further, and now from here, my friends are going to further discuss about different accounting aspects.
Hello there, my name is Pisal Simkara. My student ID is TIA8109. Today I am here to discuss about the liquidity ratio, under which current ratio of the company I am going to calculate. On 2018, the total current asset was 2232 million and the total current liabilities was 1676 million. According to the formula, the total current asset divided by total current liabilities gives us the current ratio of a company. As you can see, on 2018 the FMG current ratio was 1.33%. Similarly, on 2019 the total current asset of FMG was 1550 million and the total current liabilities of FMG was 3773 million. As we use the formula, we get around 1.36% of current ratio in 2019. So the current liabilities are covered by current asset with 1.33% times on 2018 and similarly on 1.36% time on 2019. That's a good current ratio as it is 2:1. There are certain factors which affects the current ratio, which includes increasing a current asset or decreasing a current liabilities, paying down the debt, selling a fixed asset, and profit back into the business. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Pisal Simkara. My student ID is TIA8109. Today I am here to discuss about the Fortescue Metal Group. Thank you.
Similarly, I am also calculating the liquidity ratio under which the quick ratio of a FMG company. As you can see, on 2018 the total current asset was 2232 million and the total current liabilities was 1676 million and the inventory of the FMG company was 6701.1 million. According to the quick ratio formula, Total current asset minus inventory divided by total current liabilities gives us the ratio of a company. So as you can see, on 2018 the ratio was 0.93 percentage. Similarly, on 2019, total current asset was 5150 million and the total current liabilities was 3773 million and the inventory was 1100.0 million. So if you use the formula, we get around 1.07 quick ratio of FMG on 2019. So the quick ratio between the 0.5 or more than 1 are good. So the FMG company seems to have a concentrate quick ratio according to the data. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Roxy Shen. My student ID is TFC 3091. According to the current ratio calculated, we can tell in 2018, for every $1.33 of current asset, there is $1 of current liability. It shows a satisfying debt. The dollar amount for current asset increased to $1.36, which is a better debt. The quick ratio indicates that for every $0.93 of assets that can be converted quickly into cash, there's $1 of current liability. The current assets increased from $0.93 to $1.07 in 2019. It indicates the ability of Fortescue Group to use its cash and quick assets to retire its current liability immediately has improved. The solvency ratio is greater than 20%, which shows the company is financially healthy. Fortescue can improve its liquidity by faster conversion cycle of account receivables, pay off current liabilities, or reduce overhead expenses. To improve solvency, Fortescue should increase sales or increase owner's equity. Let me conclude this presentation. From the investigation, the liquidity and solvency, we can clearly see the financial health in terms of Fortescue Metals Group's capacity to meet its short-term and long-term commitments. We can tell overall the company has a good capability to sell assets quickly to raise cash, as well as a good ability to meet its long-term financial commitments. We can also identify both of the liquidity ratio and solvency ratio increased between 2018 and 2019, and thus it is found satisfying. We believe the company will achieve better results if they take our advice. Hi, my name is Roxy Shen. My student ID is TFC 3091. According to the current ratio calculated, we can tell in 2018, for every $1.33 of current asset, there is $1 of current liability. It shows a satisfying debt. The dollar amount for current asset increased to $1.36, which is a better debt. The quick ratio indicates that for every $0.93 of assets that can be converted quickly into cash, there's $1 of current liability. The current assets increased from $0.93 to $1.07 in 2019. It indicates the ability of Fortescue Group to use its cash and quick assets to retire its current liability immediately has improved. The solvency ratio is greater than 20%, which shows the company is financially healthy. Fortescue can improve its liquidity by faster conversion cycle of account receivables, pay off current liabilities, or reduce overhead expenses. To improve solvency, Fortescue should increase sales or increase owners' equity. Let me conclude this presentation. From the investigation, the liquidity and solvency, we can clearly see the financial health in terms of Fortescue Metals Group's capacity to meet its short-term and long-term commitments. We can tell overall the company has a good capability to sell assets quickly to raise cash, as well as a good ability to meet its long-term financial commitments. We can also identify both of the liquidity ratio and solvency ratio increased between 2018 and 2019, and thus it is found satisfying. We believe the company will achieve better results if they take our advice.